Hey y'all, Nacho here. So, yeah, Unfrantic 10. It happened. I wrote it. I got done writing it like 30 minutes ago, and now I'm reading for it. Yay. Cool. Alright, well here's Unfrantic Fanfic 10, The Lament of Ramsay. For a long time, Gordon Ramsay had been suffering. He knew that going on live TV to promote a meth-restaurant was a terrible idea. Even more so one that had the blue stuff baked directly into the chicken itself. What surprised him, though, is that it wasn't the government or other meth dealers that caught up to him, but instead just plain old karma. It all started when the Pee-Pee Poo-Poo Man came back after one of his many deaths, and went on a murder spree through all of his restaurants. When cornered at the last one, he claimed that it was all for the lamb sauce and chucked himself into a nearby deep fryer. That was already bad enough, as it was a complete and total nightmare to clean, and it caused his restaurants to gain a reputation of being dangerous to visit. However, it only got worse as the Bazingonic plague started to spread around the world. While he himself was relatively safe in Europe, and his home had several good water filters, his restaurants only continued to suffer. Nobody wanted to eat out, and nobody wanted to come into work. His restaurants were left empty and abandoned, with the leases running through his bank account regularly. Only weeks into the plague, he had to sell off nearly all of them just to keep the mortgage on his home. That's why only a couple days after the plague had left this earth, he needed to find a new job. Luckily, a nearby Comcast customer service center was hiring. He knew that such a position was somewhat beneath the greatest chef on the planet, but he had to make ends meet somehow. It didn't take him long for him to be hired, completing a virtual interview and sending in all the paperwork he needed. He honestly found himself being a bit hopeful for what this position would entail, as he dealt with a lot of people in his old position, and dealing with only one at a time may be more relaxing. It only took a week for him to break, cracking and crumbling under the weight of receiving calls from hundreds of idiots and freaks on the daily. His days had become incredibly monotonous, except for Saturday, where he could actually spend time with his loving family. This Sunday was the start of the third week at this new job, and he was dreading coming in. It was audacious to him that this job even required anyone to come in on Sundays, which should have been part of the weekend. He had a ritual before work every day, something that could ground himself and make him calm. Before anyone else could wake up, Gordon went downstairs and made his family a nice hearty breakfast. It felt nice to make food for others, like he had done so many times before. Plus, he could make a nice lunch for himself as a little pick-me-up in the middle of the day. Once the breakfast was finished, he made a couple gourmet grilled cheeses on sourdough bread. He filled them with a little bit of every type of cheese they had, and added enough butter to make it quite soft, yet not soggy. Once the food was done, he plated it with the utmost care and set it out for his wife and 6 children. He put his grilled cheeses in a metal lunchbox, along with some fruit gummies and a portable applesauce. With a defeated sigh, he made his way out to his car and mentally prepared himself for the nearly hour-long commute from his home in Cornwall to the town of Plymouth. The first half of this drive was relatively peaceful, as it consisted of back roads through the scenic English countryside. However, once he got to Plymouth, traffic became absolutely dreadful. It had only been a few years since an Amazol warehouse opened there, and ever since, the once scenic port town had been growing into a mini titan of industry. He used to love visiting with his family, but now he could hardly stand the sight of the accursed place. After about 20 minutes of sitting in traffic, he made it to the bog-standard office building that served as his indefinite torture center. Steeling his nerves, he parked his car and made his way inside. As he boarded the elevator to reach one of the higher floors, he prayed that he would not have a run-in with his boss today. However, he would soon find himself unlucky as the slow-ass elevator stopped on floor 4 and let in an awfully chipper-looking man wearing a suit and tie. "Hey there, Gordon! Ready for a Comcastic day?" He moved his arms back and forth as he said that, looking Gordon in the eyes with an open-mouthed smile. "Yes, Chadwick," he responded gloomily, his spirits already dashed. "Alrighty then. If you've got any problems, just come see me. You've got this, slugger." He patted Gordon on the back, eliciting a groan from the man as the elevator opened on the 7th floor. He stepped out, making distance from Chadwick before clocking in and making his way to his cubicle. Immediately his eyes went to the corded phone sitting on his desk. He stared at it, as one would a loaded bomb, preparing for it to ring, and begin his torment for the day. Sure enough, it began to ring, and he got to answering. "Hello, this is Comcast Internet Services. How can I help you?" A loud, angry voice came over the end. "Fix my fucking shit, man! My internet's been broken for hours, and now I can't play Rainmaker! I've been calling since 1 in the damn morning! Putz, he said bluntly, trying not to lose his cool this early in the day. I'm going to put this nicely. I've already done all I can do. Also, we don't open until 9 a.m. GMT. I don't give a shit! Fix it now! No, 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 no! Every time he said now, Gordon could hear the sound of him slamming his poor table. He recalled how this exact same song and dance had played out last week. Same time, same uncontested gamer rage. Gordon knew he had to tell him off, that he couldn't just keep being polite. Not wanting to start a fuss, though, he spoke calmly. Listen, you fucking donut. I don't want you to call here anymore. Have a good day. The minute he put the phone down, it began to ring once more. He sighed loudly before picking it up. Hello, Comcast. Hey y'all, Scott here. A chipper voice came through on the other end. Okay, so I was trying to use my copy of Call of Duty on Black Ops on Wii. You don't need to introduce yourself, you fucking donkey, he growled, patience already thinning. I don't know what the fuck to do about your Nintendo games. Call them! Gotcha. Hey, do you have any tips about planning a party? I'm host... Gordon hung up immediately, not wanting the conversation to continue any longer. He was flabbergasted by just how many people accidentally called Comcast for some random bullshit. He had overheard Chadwick in the hall a few days ago saying something about potentially changing the support line to the number 912 so to get a higher volume of calls. Once more the line rang, and Gordon grumbled as he picked it up. Hello, Comcast Internet Services. How can I help? A mystical-sounding voice came from the other end, warbled like the man was speaking from the cosmos themselves. Hello, I shall find Scott the Waltz. I must unravel his secrets. Could you tell me where his crib is? That name stuck out in his mind, as technically this was the second time today he had to deal with that guy's shit. His rage built as he launched his first true shout into the phone. This is not the police, you fucking idiot sandwich! Go ask a detective, damn it! Stop calling for nonsensical things! He hung up shortly after, his breaths heavy as he tried to calm himself down. He looked over to the wall of the cubicle, where a corkboard hung with various photos of his family. A smile began to creep over his face as he stared at it, remembering fun holidays they'd all gone on together. There was a picture of them visiting Plymouth Beach a couple years ago, back before the town had become crowded with the stank of modernization. Once more the phone rang, bringing him back to a shitty reality. He picked it up, but wasn't able to speak before the caller spoke. Hello? Am I speaking to G? This is Gordon Ramsay with Comcast Internet Services, he said calmly. How may I help you? Wait a second, the voice said pensively, before their voice perked up. Is this the wrong number? Before Gordon could potentially tell him off, the caller began to sing, much to his chagrin. Oh, it's the wrong number song. We're very, very sorry that we got it wrong. No, it's the wrong number song. My favorite Marvel superhero's Donkey Kong. Oh, it's the wrong number song. The longer you listen makes your beep as strong. Oh, it's the wrong number song. And even though we missed it, we can get along. Gordon sat awestruck at the sheer audacity of this bitch, entranced by the stupid little song that he hadn't even noticed the caller hung up a few seconds ago. He blankly stared ahead, setting down the phone slowly as he tried to take in what the fuck just happened. Was Donkey Kong even a superhero? What the fuck was a Marvel? Or a Beepus, for that matter? These questions dashed through his mind as the phone rang once more, and he automatically answered. Hello? Comcast Internet Services. How can I help you? From the other end, a gravelly voice came through. I am known as the Shredder, leader of the Mighty Foot Clan, and sworn enemy of the Teenage Mutant— Shut the fuck up and get to the bloody point! Gordon screamed, glaring at the phone. What is your fucking problem? Silence came from the other end, the Shredder taking a moment to collect himself. Yes, actually. The router in our base has been blinking with some strange lights for a while now, and the internet's been slow. I'm next to it right now. Could you run some diagnostics? I would be delighted to, Gordon said in a calm voice. The next 20 minutes were spent actually doing his job, talking with someone about their internet issues and helping them fix their router. In fact, the next few calls were just as untypically pleasant. He spoke with a miner from Hollow Nest named Mila, who was getting a new router set up for her home. After that, he was surprised to receive a call from Zetterburn, Crown Prince of an area known as the Firelands. He needed help with setting up a Wi-Fi extender in his room, which Gordon gladly provided. Once he had helped the Lion Prince, he got on a call with an Inkling named Dasher. This was the easiest and most pleasant call of them all, as he simply needed some instruction activating Ethernet on a device. Soon the call with him had finished, and the phone rang once more. Gordon groaned a little at the back-to-back call, picked it up with a worried smile. "Hello? This is, Gordon from Comcast." A sketchy voice came from the other end, one that sounded like it would belong to a cartoon weasel.
"Hey, my name's Tario, and I got a question for you."
Gordon was a tad put off by the sheer amount of sleaze in the man's voice, but did not wish to scare him off. "Is it about, one of our products? I would be delighted to assist you then." A slimy chuckle came from the other end of the phone.
"Is your refrigerator running?"
Immediately, Gordon's blood began to boil as all the pleasantness of the last 4 calls immediately left him. His face started turning red as the plastic of the phone crackled under his now iron grip.
"I swear to every bloody god in the heavens above, I will find you and shit down your throat! I will skin you alive and staple your flesh above my damn cubicle as a warning to any other shitting customers who try to fuck with me! I will cook and eat your parents and make the rest of your family watch! Their charred corpses will certainly be the best thing your miserable arse has ever been bothered to smell! I'm going to give you a blindfolded lobotomy with a fucking ice pick! I will fuck your wife on your lawn in a boat while fishing in a bloody storm train for human feces to launch at your doorstep! Fuck you!"
Gordon slammed the phone on the receiver, pissed as hell that someone would try to prank call him now of all times. A growl came from his throat as the phone immediately began to ring once more. He angrily picked up at once, and grumbled at the poor customer who dared to call that day. Hello? No voice came over from the other end. Silence fell in the cubicle for a few seconds before Gordon decided to break it.
"Oi! This is Comcast fucking internet services. I swear to God, if you decide to say some dumb fucking shit, I'll come over to wherever the fuck you are and kick your ass! Fucking donut."
The phone hung up the literal moment he finished his sentences. He sighed as he leaned back in his chair, having been spared from a brain aneurysm. Shortly after, another person called. Gordon adjusted himself and prepared to do his job once more. "Hello, Comcast Services. How may I help you today?"
"Ooh, hi!"
a young girly voice said over the phone. Ugh, he groaned again, wondering how this kid had phone access. "Hello, young lady. You like 4 years old or something? Why are you calling Comcast Services?"
"Huh? Am I 4?
The child responded.
I don't know, maybe. How are you doing, good sir? You wanna play? I like games. I have a knife. I can play with them. They're toys, right?"
Before she could continue, Gordon cut her off. "Stop right there! Where are your freaking parents?" He chose to hold his sailor's tongue, especially with the child on the other end.
"Parents?"
The child said with clear confusion in her voice.
"What are those?"
Confusion came over his face as he stared at the receiver. He rubbed his eyes, trying to conceive of how the fuck this child wouldn't know about parents. "Listen, you're a kid, so I'll go easy on him." He inhaled deeply, before calmly explaining the concept of parents to the young girl. She honestly reminded him a lot of his own kids when they were younger, aside from the whole playing with knives thing. After a while, the girl, who still didn't seem to fully understand the concept, thanked him and hung up. Gordon smiled, happy that he could at least help someone. When the phone rang once more, he picked it up with a cheerier tone than usual. "Comcast customer service, how may I help you?" There was a long pause from the other end. Gordon thought he had hallucinated the ringing before he heard a deep inhale. "Is this Comcast?" The customer spoke with a uninterested, yet highly infuriating tone. Gordon's eye twitched as he knew this might end up being infuriating. "Yes, this is Comcast. Do you need help with anything?" Another pause came, with the only thing breaking the silence being the customer's heavy breathing. Soon enough, though, they responded. "Yeah, why are you British?" This was enough to break Gordon once more.
"Alright, listen here, you insufferable twat. I don't know who the hell you think you are, but I swear to the almighty Lord above that if you ask another stupid question like that again, I'll come over and personally slap you across the face."
Now Gordon was the one breathing heavily, waiting for a response through even more silence. Jeez, sorry I offended you. There was the very distinct crinkling of a chip bag that was somehow audible through the phone. Suddenly, Gordon could make out someone yelling at the customer from the background.
Jerry! What the hell did I tell you about prank calls? As long as you live under my roof, that ain't gonna happen!
It was a deep sigh from Jerry that followed this yelling. Mom, I'm busy right now. Why don't you go make me a sandwich? Gordon very quickly hung up the call, hearing the other voice yelling with an anger that even surpassed his. Thinking about sandwiches, though, this made him want to eat his lunch. Grabbing one of the grilled cheeses he had prepared, he walked over to the break room and prepared to take his lunch break. It didn't take long for him to make it to the break room, but before he could make it to the microwave, he found Chadwick standing in his way. He carried that same chipper smile he always did, moving like an over-animated cartoon character as he spoke.
Hey there, Gordon! What you up to?
Trying to take my break, he said as he tried to push past him to get to the microwave. However, Chadwick simply stepped aside to stand in his way.
Say, mind if I ask you a quick question? Why did I get a call from the White House a couple minutes ago, saying you told the president that you were gonna kick his ass?
Almost immediately, Gordon went fully pale, realizing the silent caller he had not long ago was none other than Clancy the shopping cart. Chadwick continued to speak, smiling as he continued to stand in front of the microwave.
Gee, Gordon, that looks pretty bad on us at Comcast, right? Honestly, I'm a tad bit miffed at you right now. So, how about we cut a little deal? You work through your break today, just eat your sandwich at your desk. If you do that, I won't have to fire you. How's that sound?
Before Gordon could answer, Chadwick answered for him.
Sounds good then. Remember to give every customer a Comcastic day.
Disappointed as hell, Gordon made his way back to his desk and sat down. Opting to eat his grilled cheese cold, he opened his lunchbox and grabbed the first one. It was only then he realized that it was really overdone and mostly burnt. He sighed, preparing to bite into it when the phone rang once more. He pulled the phone off the receiver, setting it upright on the table as he tried to keep a hold on his sandwich.
Comcast bloody internet services. What's the problem?
He couldn't see it, but on the other end of the line was a CRT television with a Miku on it.
Hi, I'm Hatsune Miku. Can you come watch my show? I've got lots of great cartoons. I'm so lonely. I just wanted to be wanted.
I'm not running a fucking charity, you blue-ass Looney Tunes wanker! Your TV's fucked and call me about that!
He hung up again, taking a few bites out of his damn sandwich when another call came in. He was ready to just let it ring out, but his earlier yelling attracted Chadwick over to his cubicle. The boss stood behind him, watching him quietly as Gordon picked up the phone. He forced a grin onto his face, trying to keep a happy tone as he spoke to the customer.
Hello, Comcast Internet Services. How can I help you, sir, ma'am?
With a chipper smile, Chadwick walked away once more and let him work. A serious-sounding voice came through the other side.
Hello, my name is Roronoa Zoro. I'm a member of the Straw Hat Pirates, and I will one day become the greatest swordsman ever.
Gordon was stunned, questioning mentally why so many people were introducing themselves today. So?
Huh?
Zoro responded, sounding confused. Checking around to ensure Chadwick wasn't nearby, Gordon snapped once more.
So what? What do you want help with, you unripe tomato?
Zoro growled from the other end, quickly matching his furious energy.
Well, if you have to know, I'm lost. I'm in the...
He went silent as he checked a nearby sign.
I'm in the city of Japan, Missouri. Eden Street. Help me! This is a fucking internet provider, you absolute nitwit fuck!
He screamed before hanging up, tired of these problems he had no way to solve. He quickly started eating his grilled cheese, wolfing it down before the phone rang again. His mouth still full of cheese and bread, he spoke into the phone.
Comcast support, Gordon speaking. Need help?
An exceptionally average voice came from the other end. Gordon couldn't place any sort of accent or dialect from the get-go. I love reading books, especially the books upstairs. They're only for free. Didn't you want to... Wait. Don't wait. Reading. Especially books. Wait. The books are... Assuming he was dealing with a lunatic, Gordon immediately hung up. He exhaled loudly as he tried to make heads or tails of what the man just said. Before he could even get somewhat close to figuring out the meaning of the cryptic words, the phone rang again. He picked it up, but wasn't able to get any words out before a loud voice at the other end spoke.
Yo mama's so fat! When she did a cannonball in the pool, she flooded the entire house! What in the bloody fuck did you just say about my mother? I'll have you know she's a lovely woman!
He was almost ready to hang up when the voice spoke once more. Sorry, force of habit. The man sounded genuinely apologetic, causing Gordon to ease up a little bit. Seriously though, some fat bitch jumped in my pool, and my router broke. Mind sending me a new one?
Sure, I'd be glad to.
The next 15 minutes were spent exchanging information with the man, who he came to know as Brody. It was honestly pleasantly monotonous, lowering his guard once more as he got into the groove of doing his job. It was over far too quickly, but at least he was back in more of a neutral mood. When the phone rang again, he felt like he was prepared to give a normal, reasonable response. Hello, you're speaking with Gordon. How may I help you? He was surprised to hear his exact home address read out, along with his IP address. The caller laughed in a nasally voice, gloating over doxing him before landing a killing blow to his sanity.
You owe me $35, shit ass, or else I'm gonna fuck your dad!
Afterwards, the caller hung up and left Gordon sitting there processing what just happened. Shortly after the phone rang again. He was audibly tired by now and was barely able to keep himself in there. Hello, you're speaking with Gordon. How may I help you? He robotically repeated his previous greeting without even realizing it. A tired-sounding voice came over the other end. Hey man, well I've been having trouble with my router. The fog lifted from Gordon's mind as he realized that now was another chance to actually do his job. Oh, I see. Well, what seems to be the issue, sir? It's just... the damn thing can't seem to find the route to any place I need to get to. Gordon threw the phone across the cubicle almost instantly, watching it clatter against the walls and nearly hit the corkboard with his family photos on them. He took off his shoe, holding it up to his mouth as he screamed loudly into it. He didn't dare want to alert Chadwick to his anger, lest he receive another irritating scolding. The phone rang again, and he lifted it up to hear the caller on the other end.
What the fuck do you want? Address me. No!
He screamed before slamming it on the receiver, ignoring the elephant not in the room as he stood up from his cubicle. He stormed off to the office bathroom, forcing himself to take a couple-minute break with the assistance of the porcelain throne. After about 5 minutes of wasting company time, he returned to his cubicle to find his phone ringing, and he begrudgingly sat down to answer it. Hello, this is Gordon with Comcast. How can I help?
Hello.
A voice came from the other end, sounding like it was coming from a $10 microphone.
I am called Gaming Time. I play heavy in Team Fortress 2.
Okay, Gordon said, not wanting to flip his lid quite yet. Do you need help with your router or anything?
My router is downstairs,
Gaming Time replied unhelpfully.
I have a question. Do you watch the Cleveland show? I think that guy is funny.
Once more, Gordon hung up before the gamer could continue. He took a few deep breaths, trying to recuperate. Before he managed to fully calm himself down from the sheer stupidity of the last conversation, the phone rang again. He picked it up, prepared to give his spiel when he was immediately interrupted.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory. Oh, for fuck's sake, would people just stop announcing who they are every single time they bloody call?
He screamed over the phone, not even bothering if he got in trouble for it at this point. Not even bothering to worry about if he got in trouble for it at this point. Whoa there, pal, MatPat responded, a little nervous. Look, I was just here to do a little survey, and
of fucking course the donkey isn't even calling about something internet or TV service related. Who do you think we fucking are, you patty-matty pillock? Fuck off!
He screamed before hanging up. Needing to ground himself, he grabbed his other grilled cheese. This one was far less burnt, and contained a little bit of over 48 different cheeses. He prepared to take a bite into it, and was half prepared for the phone to ring again. What he was not prepared for was the office door to burst open with a sickening noise. Gordon quickly shielded himself from various bits of debris and shrapnel that flew past him. Once the noise and carnage stopped, he cautiously lowered his guard and opened his eyes. There, in the doorway, MatPat stood in a torn bear costume with a manic grin on his face. He held some sort of flamethrower chainsaw thing and read it threateningly.
Hello, Comcast Internet Services! Welcome to Game Theory!
Gordon Ramsay blinked as he tried to process what just happened. He slowly came to his feet, never taking his eyes off the intruder. His fist clenched tightly, and in a sudden burst of anger, he began to yell.
Jesus fucking Christ, you donkey! What in the bloody hell do you think you're doing? That door's going to cost the company at least several grand to replace! Who do you think they'll be getting to pay for it, huh? Huh, asshole!
He stomped over to MatPat, who stepped back in shock and fear.
What the hell are you even supposed to be? Some sort of evil douchebag with a chainsaw?
Yeah, MatPat mumbled as he lowered the weird doohickey. I'm also known as
And what on earth are you holding? Looks like something I'd use to clean a fucking toilet. What the hell are you wearing too? Some Spirit Halloween shit?
Wait,
some Spirit Halloween shite?
Gordon interrupted him mid-sentence, continuing to viscerally tear into him. That's my awesome weapon, and this is my costume. Look, we were examining He was cut off once more as Gordon threatened to punch him in the jaw.
Enough of this fucking nonsense! I'm sick and tired of people calling me, breaking me every one of my calls. I hear a bunch of nitwits every fucking day telling me random bullshit that's even related to this service at all!
He screeched with such power that not only did one of his blood vessels nearly burst, but his vocal cords almost did too. Dang, jeez, I'm sorry then, MatPat said as he ruffled the back of his hair. I retired from theory crafting for a while, but I wanted to make a new FNAF theory. I just wanted someone to listen to it.
Well, goodbye! Find another poor soul to listen to your shitty theory then!
Gordon reached out to his desk, grabbing a company-branded stapler and hucking it towards MatPat's head. The theorist swiftly dodged and promptly ran off before he could risk any more of Gordon's ire. Moments later, the phone rang again. Gordon miserably sat down and picked it up, because that's what he needed to do.
Hello? Comcast fucking internet service? How can I help you?
Howdy, partner! A stereotypical cowboy voice came from the other end. Got any advice on how I can not kill myself right now? I'm so guilty, I swear. Look, my darling Blue will be disappointed a little on me.
Sir, this is an internet provider, not the suicide hotline. Piss off!
He slammed the phone on the receiver, nearly breaking it from how hard he slammed it. Almost immediately rang again. He nearly felt bad for whatever poor bastard was on the other end as he lifted it.
Hello?
Ooh, Comcast man, wanna play a game?
He almost immediately recognized that it was the little girl from earlier. His face soured as he immediately hung up. No matter how pissed he was, he didn't want to risk screaming at a child who didn't know any better. Gears turned in his addled mind as he tried to figure out just how to get this anger out. Plans began to form as he slowly stood up from his desk once more, unplugging the phone and walking to the elevator. In his office, Chadwick had just gotten off an investor meeting and was now playing flash games on his computer. He'd gotten on to several employees yesterday for doing the same thing, but at least they had unintentionally given him some good suggestions. Suddenly, the elevator doors near the front of his office opened. He looked up, spotting Gordon Ramsay stepping out and walking towards him. Chadwick stood up, greeting him with a wave.
Hey there, Gordon! Heard some commotion downstairs. Hope you're still having a Comcastic day. No!
Gordon screamed before rushing him down and grabbing the sides of his head. He clutched the man's face in his hands, fingernails digging into his skin as he clutched him tightly.
Oh, I quit!
He screamed repeatedly in Chadwick's face, shaking his head back and forth as he did so. Chadwick's face scrunched up a little from the pain, his chipper grin finally disappearing as the pain began to set in.
Gordon, please let go. You're hurting me, man. Why should I? You haven't given a shit when any of us have been hurting. We've just been having a shitty day. When we've been missing our family. You just force us to act like drones. Well, I've had it!
He let go of Chadwick before slapping him across the face. The boss fell backwards, collapsing into his chair from the momentum of the intense blow. A red handprint was clearly visible on his cheek as Chadwick lifted his own hand to his face, trying to soothe the burning pain. Gordon continued, staring him down.
I'm not spending the rest of my bloody life as some number on a spreadsheet. I as some cog in a machine that I never get to fucking use. I'm leaving this bloody town and never turning back. Fuck you and everything you stand for.
With that, he stormed out of the office, leaving Chadwick dumbfounded as he tried to process what just happened. Gordon got back on the elevator and went back down to the floor with his cubicle. Stepping through the destroyed door, he grabbed any of his personal belongings from the desk. He stopped to eat the grilled cheese, quietly moaning to himself as all the anger from the day slowly evaporated. Once it was done, he took down the corkboard with his family photos and carefully tucked it under his arm. He glanced one last time at the phone before leaving his office and his cubicle behind. He didn't look back as he stormed out of the Costco corporate headquarters. As he made his way to his car, he noticed MatPat waiting at a nearby bus stop, still in the costume. He set down some of his things before walking over to the man and punching him in the cock before he could say anything. MatPat doubled over, dropping to his knees and groaning as Gordon ran back to his car. He swiftly left, chuckling to himself as he saw the theorist now laying on the sidewalk by the bus stop. Days later, Gordon was happily at work at a brand new job. Tired of monotony, he decided to take a big risk and use the last of his disposable income to purchase a food truck. There, he cooked gourmet grilled cheeses for the people of Cornwall and the surrounding area. Sure, it was no Michelin star restaurant, but he was still doing what he loved and making folks happy. People came from far and wide to eat at his food truck, and he planned to occasionally travel elsewhere in the country to serve at events and other celebrations. The first weekend of operation, he had traveled up to Birmingham for a belated celebration at the end of the Byzingonic Plague. Many happy customers chowed down at some tables he set out around the truck. After giving an Anomalocaris a couple sandwiches, he turned to take the order of the next person in line. He was shocked and surprised to find that it was Chadwick, who sheepishly waved to him. Before he could even give his order, Gordon went to his cooking station and began making something. Under a minute later, he gave a wrapped sandwich to Chadwick, telling him that it was on the house. Chadwick shrugged, smiling as he went to sit down and eat his new present. Once he opened it, he noticed something was off. It was fucking raw. Gordon just gave him 2 slices of bread and a Kraft single. He turned around, walking back to the truck to give his complaints, but Gordon simply ignored him, as he was already helping another customer. Mentally, Gordon smiled as he watched Chadwick begrudgingly go back to his table to dig into a sad sandwich. For the first weekend in a while, he was truly having a Comcastic day. And that's the end of Unfrantic Fanfic 10.